Makerere University, John Hopkins University research collaboration has been in existence in Kampala, Uganda since 1988. This collaboration was started by investigators from John Hopkins University in the United States and Makerere University in Kampala. At that time, HIV was a major pandemic in Uganda, with challenges of accessing testing, care, and treatment. However, these investigators also recognized there wasn't much information on the prevalence of HIV in pregnant women and the risk of transmission to their babies. So these investigators, Professor Francis Miro, the late, and Professor Brooks Jackson, decided to investigate what the effect of HIV was in pregnant women and their unborn babies. The first studies found that prevalence of HIV was very high in women who are pregnant. In those days, in 1988, the prevalence was 30%. So of every 100 pregnant women, 30 were HIV infected. They also found that the babies who are born to these infected mothers also became infected at a rate of 25%. Subsequently, the researchers looked at ways to prevent mother-to-child transmission, which led to the landmark HIVNet 012 study, which showed that single-dose nevirapine to the mother and single-dose nevirapine to the infant reduced mother-to-child transmission by 50%. These results were released in 1988, and MU-JHU was part of this research. Since then, we've moved on to look at other ways to further reduce transmission of HIV from mother to child, especially during breastfeeding. So other studies moving forward now up to 2016, there were studies which showed that you can reduce mother-to-child transmission further by giving triple antiretroviral therapy. So now the standard recommendation is that all women who are pregnant are tested for HIV, given antiretroviral therapy, and you can reduce transmission to less than 2%. After that, we also moved into the area of preventing HIV infection in young women, especially high-risk young women and adolescents. And these studies have been done through the networks of NIH, National Institutes of Health, USA. And so through the MTN network, the HPTN network, we've been able to do studies using a vaginal ring, which reduces transmission of HIV from the partner to the young woman, and also reducing the risk of acquiring HIV. These results are still ongoing, and studies are still ongoing to look at other methods to reduce transmission in these women. MU-JHU has also moved into non-HIV research, and we're really looking at improving maternal and child survival. So most recently, since in 2019, we were able to look at the GBS germ, group B strep germ, and to see how many mothers are actually colonized with the group B strep germ. And from that, to also determine whether we can reduce transmission of that germ from the mother to the newborn. So group B strep vaccines are planned for later this year and also for next year. And these vaccines are part of the PREPARE study, PREPARE grant, work packages that will look at giving mothers the vaccine and pregnant mothers the vaccine and see if we can reduce the chance of the baby acquiring that group B strep infection. And if they don't acquire the infection, then they won't become sick. We also have moved into doing other studies that look at blood transfusion and making it safer, looking at communities, how we can support pregnant women to continue to adhere to their ART. And we've also looked at TB studies in children, how we can make treatment shorter. We all know that many children are dying from tuberculosis disease, but if we can reduce the duration of treatment from 6 to 4 months, or even to 2 months, it will make it easier for the mothers and the children, and the outcomes will be better. MU-JHU, or Makerere University Johns Hopkins Research Collaboration, continues to look at other ways to improve the health of our families, our mothers, our children, and their partners. And we look forward to continuing to do more research in areas that may be new, but that will be relevant to improving the health of people in Uganda. Thank you very much.
The MU-JHU pharmacy consists of 3 areas. There's the dispensing room where our participants or patients receive their concomitant medications. There is the research pharmacy office, and then we also have storage space. The pharmacy team consists of 3 pharmacists, that's myself, with my colleagues Rebecca and Mark, who are all trained pharmacists. We all have a Bachelor of Pharmacy, and we are registered members of the Pharmaceutical Society of Uganda. The MU-JHU Research Pharmacy is set up such that access is restricted to only the pharmacy staff. We have biometric access into the office. We have conducted a number of studies at MU-JHU, right from phase 1 to phase 4 studies, and these have been for various categories of drugs. We've had ARVs, we've had anti-malarial drugs, we've had anti-TB drugs, 1 HIV vaccine study, and they've been in various categories of those that have been open label, those that have been blinded, some have been randomized, and some observational. Our procedures are, we have a service room, and that's the room that other members of staff use to access us. There is a doorbell for them to ring, and we open our window for them, hand over whatever they have for us, and then if we are requested to prepare a drug for a participant, we begin the preparation process. All our processes undergo a QC check, so no study drugs will leave the pharmacy without being checked by another pharmacist. And we also have a QA process. At the end of the day or end of the week, all our documentation is reviewed again. We handle import of study drugs and destruction if there is need for that at the end of the study or when participant returns are brought to us. We monitor our temperatures on a daily basis. All this temperature monitoring is recorded, it's well documented and kept on file. All our equipment is calibrated and maintained, and by equipment I'm referring to air conditioners, refrigerators, intercom, phones, laptops, a printer. All these are calibrated and it's according to the manufacturer's recommendations.
At the MU-JHU Research Collaboration, we have 3 buildings which serve the research and care participants. We have in each building reception areas. We have 40 examination rooms for clinicians. We have 20 counseling rooms, and we also have other rooms that serve patients with the needs such as immunization, family planning, and a few other needs that may arise. We also have within the clinical buildings spaces that are designated for offices, for physicians, investigators, and study coordinators. We do have in the buildings administrative offices, a data management center, and a special area for storage of study and other participant files. Within the clinic division, we have 4 main cadres of staff. We have the doctors, we have the nurses, we have the pharmacists, and we have the neurodevelopment testers or neuropsychologists. So as a clinic, we are currently doing our best to see patients in this new COVID era. We used to see about 100 patients a day across the different clinics within MU-JHU. Currently, we see about 50 to 100 a day, with a reduction being due to the measures that we put in to spread out our clients because of COVID-19. We do have screening at all MU-JHU entry points for both staff and also clients who access the premises. We also have an isolation point for any suspects. We have, as MU-JHU, purchased a range of protective equipment for COVID-19 prevention, and we ensure adequate supplies by basing on a 6-month projection forward. We also have a clinical advisory committee on COVID-19 that provides recommendation to site leadership on measures for prevention as new information becomes available. The Clinical Advisory Committee also provides continuing education and sensitization of staff and is responsible for management of any suspect case at MU-JHU. For each study and program at MU-JHU, there is a risk management plan that is developed and approved by the Institutional Review Board that entails all the specific measures that the study has put in place and will implement during ongoing studies. So at the clinic, we are really putting in a lot to ensure that COVID-19 is really kept away from us as staff, but also very, very important from our participants.
Welcome to the Quality Management Division of MU-JHU. Here at the Quality Management Division, we have multiple sections that include the quality control, quality assurance, data technicians, and data managers, and we work closely with the records management section. In this division, the QCs work across multiple studies that include clinical trials and observational studies. The quality control team is responsible for ensuring that the data collected is of good quality, meets the protocol, sponsor, and regulatory standards. The QC team reviews all documents pertaining to the study protocol to ensure completeness, consistency, and accuracy of the data. The review involves electronic CRFs as well as paper CRFs and all hospital and participant documents. The quality assurance team is also responsible for ensuring that all the data collected is of good quality and that the protocol and applicable regulations, both local and international, for instance GCP, are adhered to. Here at the Quality Management Division, we work on multiple studies that include clinical trials as well as observational studies.
Welcome to Regulatory Office. The Regulatory Office in this institution is the one in charge of compliance with approved study protocols, the research guidelines, both local and international. This is a role we take on through different things that we do. For example, we are responsible for reviewing all study documents before they are submitted to the different regulatory bodies. We are also responsible with ensuring that documents are complete and accurate before they are sent out there. We are also responsible for storing all study essential documents, and that's why you're seeing so many files in this office. We are also responsible for mentorship of research teams, a role we do through training. We also support regulatory bodies out there, a role we take on based on the fact that we have a federal world assurance, and we do this by updating them with research guidelines, both local and international. We also do it through training. We offer training to other research organizations. We are also responsible for storage of all study-informed consents. We also maintain a tracking log for those informed consents before we store them. I can add that we are the ones responsible with all the submissions that go out of the institution from the different study teams. We submit to different regulatory bodies. We have the institutional review boards. These ones usually vary from 1 month to 2 months, depending on how the protocol is written and what the research is really about. And so their review period will vary between 1 month to 2 months. So once the primary IRB is approved, depending still on the protocol, if the protocol needs administrative clearance, it is sent to the institution where the administrative clearance is supposed to be given from. For example, if it is Kawempe Hospital, you go to Kawempe Hospital for administrative clearance. And once you have this, you can now take your submission to Uganda National Council for Science and Technology. Uganda National Council for Science and Technology is responsible for the overall approval of a protocol before it is done on site. And National Council for Science and Technology usually takes between 10 days and 1 month to give you the approval. Then if the protocol is on an investigational product, that protocol needs approval from the National Drug Authority. And National Drug Authority usually takes from 3 months to 4 months, depending on how complex the protocol is, before they can give you the approval.
We're a 4-member team of IT experts with different strengths. A systems and network administrator who specializes in connectivity related issues, a desktop support specialist, and a programmer. We are supporting over 200 desktops, laptops, and IT equipment, and an array of servers that power our data center. Our data center provides services to all of the research activities here at MU-JHU and at the various locations like Kawempe, the hospital that most of the activities currently are located. We are well connected with internet. Locally, we have a 40 Mbps link that we have through a research partner, RENU, the Research and Educational Network of Uganda, that provides us very fast and affordable internet as part of a consortium. Most of the services, if not all, are hosted here at MU-JHU and remotely accessed at the other sites like Kawempe Hospital, where we have an internet link of up to 100 Mbps that is provided to the hospital through a government service and connectivity. So the hospital at Kawempe is connected via a 100 Mbps link, and all services are accessed remotely from the data center here. Our backups happen both locally to local media as well as to off-site co-located storage locations. Our staff are well equipped and with communication that is over various technologies, with Wi-Fi that provides connectivity to each and every member of the team at the campus.